Hi, everybody. I'm Suzanne Shirley, and I'm here tonight with the Freedom Team, and we are going to talk about John Maxwell's 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. Tonight, we are on Chapter 7, The Law of Design. Very quickly, I wanted to share with the team, whoever's watching live and whoever is going to watch this in the recording. Very cool idea about gaining new prospects or having some new people to add to your Franks list. You know, we've been seeing during this week where we've had the special that's come along, the free shipping special, and a lot of ambassadors have been going to some of their friends or have been advertising on their timeline saying, is it okay for me to advertise on your timeline my special? And if it's okay, then just please say yes. And people are commenting and whatnot, and that's given a lot of people some ideas. And I was just talking to an ambassador today on the phone or on voice text, and I came up with this idea, and I'm like, why shouldn't we be doing this? So reach out, find some people, think about this, find some people on your Franks list, some people on your friends list, people that you're friends that support you. No matter plexus or no, they are going to support you. They are cheering you on. They love that you're happy, that you found the answer for your life. And these are people that are going to support you. Go to them and ask them permission. Actually, you're going to offer something to them. If you have the capabilities of offering it to them, then you can. You can offer them a finder's fee. Sarah Robbins always talks about a finder's fee. This is basically a way to expand your audience. This is a way to use referrals. You are going to use one of your friends on their timeline. You're going to post a special, or what we're talking about is post a giveaway, a trial giveaway, like a 3-day trial giveaway. And pick several friends. If you want to just do one friend, do one friend. If you want to do 3 or 4 friends, 5 friends, 6 friends, post it at the same time. Have a 2 or 3 day span where they can comment me. They want a part of the trial. They want to be involved in the drawing. And then at the end of the 3 days, you draw the name of the winner. And this is going to be out of all the people on the different pages that you've just posted for. Okay. And obviously there's a winner. Now, here's the thing. Your friends that let you post on their timeline, they could be doing that free of charge. They're fine. They're okay with letting you do that. They don't need anything in return. But sometimes, you know, it's kind of nice to offer something in return, especially if you get an ambassador to sign up. And I would say that if you get an ambassador to sign up with you, you're going to give them a finder's fee. It could either be a free product, or it could be, your business building bonus from that ambassador when they sign up. Okay. And that would be the thing that I would do if someone from my friends list allows me to post on their timeline, and they lead me to somebody who signs up on my team. And that's the only time I would do that kind of a big deal. Okay. A product or a finder's fee, which is my business building bonus. If these people, these friends of yours, they might just let you do it free. They might not care. Or they might say, you might want to say, I will be happy to give you a 3-day trial. I mean, whatever it is that you can afford to do. I would like for you to think about asking some people that support you so much that they don't need anything from you, but you can offer them a finder's fee if you have an ambassador that signs up. So, okay, after the 3 days or the 2 or 3 days that you run your contest and you've got all these people that are entered, you draw a name. Let's say you have 40 people that have commented me out of all these pages that you've done. So now you have 40 brand new names. 40 brand new names. One person wins the 3-day trial. And you can announce that on all the pages. You announce the winner. And here's what you do with the winner. And you send them the 3-day trial. You also use the third-party tool. What's an amazing third-party tool? The glimpse of plexus. Use the glimpse of plexus. Say, I am so happy that you won this amazing trial. I'm so happy about that. I'm getting ready to send that to you. go ahead and shoot me your name and address and phone number. You want all of that, address and phone number. In addition, send me a friend request. Send me a friend request. If I send you this video, will you give me your opinion? Will you give me your opinion? Tell me your big takeaway and the code word. When I hear back from you, I will send you this trial. I still want the person, when they get the free trial, they won the thing, you need to get something from them. You want to show them, you're not just getting them a trial, okay? You can get them to do something to get the trial. They won the trial. So, okay, that's one take. You can send the video and have them earn it, even though they won it. You could do that. Or you could just send it to them and say, I'm so happy that you won this. Send me your name, address, phone number, friend me on Facebook, and I will get this out to you. But those have to be the precursors. Friend on Facebook, phone number, address, etc. I will send this out to you. You might want to give them a brochure, etc., etc. If you promise to take the sample, I promise to follow up. Use the if, then. If, then. If you promise to take the sample, I promise to follow up with you. Okay, that's a Sarah Robbins technique. Okay, now what do you do with the other 39 people that have entered the contest? So, and they didn't win. This is what I would do. I would contact every single one of them and say, guess what? I'm really sorry that you didn't win the big prize, but you still are a winner because I love people and I want to help everyone who entered this contest. So what I have is I have a free sample for you, and that's a stick of Slim. Some people have reported so much energy from the first day of taking Slim that they could go home and clean their house. Some people report having such great sleep on the first day that their whole life has changed just from one day. I'm not promising that could be the result, but I would love to send this out to you and bless you for taking the time to enter the contest. And then say, here's the thing. If I send you this video for 30 minutes, will you watch it and give me your opinion on it? If I send you this video, will you watch it and give me your opinion on it? And if so, you need to friend request me, send me a friend request, your name and address, and when you give me your big takeaway and your code word, work that in somehow, then I will send out to you this free sample with a brochure and some other little goodies. Tell them that. You can't wait to bless them. And that way, you've got 39 people. You don't know that they're all going to watch the video and give you the takeaway and the friend requests and the feedback, but some of them will. And the ones who don't just want something for free, they want actually to see what this is, they will do it, and you will have some more people that you can follow up with and get on the products and perhaps be able to sign someone up. And I think that is an incredible way to expand your fence sitters and your follow-up list and your Frank's list. I think that's a great idea. Use the contacts, use the friends of the people on your timeline, on your own friends list. That's just something that I think I can't wait to do that. I'm going to make a list of some people that I know will support me. The next thing I wanted to talk about, and this is just housekeeping here, I want to talk about systems. We need to have a system, and I don't want to go off on this. If I could, oh my gosh, just came back from Mastermind. So many things discussed at Mastermind. So many things that I could get into, but I won't. They're deep subjects, some of them, very, very deep. But having a system, as we will know from the law of design here, having a system is so important. A system for signing up brand new ambassadors, a system for follow-up procedures, a system for your own personal business, reaching out, having a system for knowing who it is that you're talking to, how often are you talking to them. I have just developed, and I'm in the process of getting my index card system together. That's a system for my own personal business. We need to come up with a system for not just recruiting, but for sponsoring. There's so many people that just recruit, and they give the ambassador discount as the number one reason to get them in the business. Why not give them the least expensive way to start, right? The most affordable way to start. And we start them off with the ambassador discount. Then they try it for a month or so, and then they're out. We have got to have some sort of a posture We've got to have a posture when we're signing up people. We need to let them know, number one, if you're going to sign up for an ambassador, you have to be willing to commit for a minimum of 90 days or more. I would say 6 months. That means you're going to go all in. And you have to commit to a minimum of 100 PV during that whole time. You cannot just decide on month 2 that you're not going to buy the 100 PV. And we've got to vet these people. We need to vet them so that we can understand what it is that they're really going to commit to, because we have so much die-off. We have people that are coming in, sticking it out for a month, kicking the tires, saying bye-bye. Coming in, sticking it out for a couple of months, saying goodbye, and we're recruiting like crazy. We're adding like nuts. Like last month, we added 116. Right now, we're at 67 for the month of November. That's a huge number for November during the non-busy season. But we need to start learning how to, because I looked at some reports, I've done some analysis. I'm not blown away in a negative way. I'm just blown away in a way where I think we need to restructure some of the things that we do. And so we need to vet these people. And if they're not willing to spend 100 PV a month, they need to be a preferred customer. If they're not willing to go all in with 90 days to 6 months, they need to be a preferred customer. And I honestly, do we get a 60-day money-back guarantee with all of it? Yes, we do. But do I say that? I just tell them, as a preferred customer, you get a 60-day money-back guarantee. I just do that. Now, am I lying? I guess you could say I'm doing that by omission. But I just think that's it's a part of our vetting. We need to vet people the right way. We need to get them in the right place for them. Some people are better as customers. It's easier. Something else from Mastermind. If you have customers, it's easier to handle them. They're not ambassadors. You're not trying to implement the business with them. They might not be ready for the business. They just want to get on the products. Then they need to be a customer. Because eventually you're going to share, you're going to send videos, you're going to talk about, you're going to set up a conference with your upline, you're going to get them on a Zoom. Hopefully you're going to do that. And you need to be bold about getting your new customers or your new ambassadors on an upline Zoom chat. They've got to get on and have your upline meet your new ambassador. Have your upline meet your new customer. Just go on for 20 minutes. Find out a brainstorm situation. What can we do to best serve you and help you on your journey? That's basically what we want to do. Find out their why. Do they want to get healthy? What do they want to do? And we will do what we can to meet their needs. They will have more than just you to depend on. They now have an upline ambassador to rely on and go to and ask questions. And that person will friend them as well. So that is a vetting process. And we learned at Mastermind just by talking about this that customers are easier to handle. You're not having to deal with implementing them into the business. You are trying to just meet their needs with the products. Get them loving the products. And once they love the products, you can transition them into the business. Now, some people are ready to start with the business immediately, and that means they're ready to go. So then it's not customer. We don't do customer at that point. Okay, so step 2. When we sign up a new ambassador, we normally have the process to where we sign them up. Sometimes we talk on the phone with them. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes people just send them a text and give them the instructions or a video. Here's how you sign up. That's not really effective. We need to be on the phone talking them through the sign up on their computer. We need to talk them through setting up a back order. When they don't have a back order, we don't have a business. When they don't have a back order, they don't have their products. They're not coming back to buy from us the next month. If they don't have a back order, the back order is imperative. It's imperative. So this is the system we need to implement. When we sign up, it's on the phone. It's talking them through it. If they refuse to do the phone, we need to text them all the way through. Okay, I'm telling you, if they don't have time on the phone, make a time to get on the phone with them. Put it off until they can get on the phone. It is important more than anything to get them signed up where you can answer the questions and you can turn on their back order with them. Once they sign up without a back order, it's like pulling teeth to get them to go in and turn it on. They want to know, what is this? Why are we doing this? Well, it's to ensure that you get your products every month. It's to ensure that you don't forget, so that you always have your products, so that they don't run out. Let them know they have complete control over this back order. They can go in and turn it off anytime. They can set up what date they want. They can do whatever they want with it. They can turn it on and off. Tell them it's not a big deal. It's a backup. It's a backup. But the thing is it's also a backup of your commission. And if you don't have them getting their products and they don't get their 100 PV every month, you don't get paid. So it's all bad if we don't have the back order on. So on the phone sign up. Number 2, when we sign them up, we don't just send them an email, send them a few videos, and announce them on the team page and check in every couple of days. No. And I know that that's what some of you do. And I know that I have told everybody, here's what I think we should do. And then I've told it. And I do this with my own ambassadors, but somehow it's not trickling down. And duplication needs to happen on this team. We need to have a boldness of spirit where we sign up an ambassador immediately on that phone conversation when we're signing them up. We set up an appointment with the upline ambassador. That means you, your brand new newbie, and your upline on a Zoom call or a phone call, a 3-way phone call where everybody's talking 20 minutes max. The upline now is saying, hey, Gina, so nice to meet you. Let me share my story briefly. Blah, blah, blah. 2 minutes. Gina, tell me what it is exactly that you are so excited about Plexus. You guys, did you know that in the first 48 hours, that's the most time they're excited? The first 48 hours when they sign up, before they even get their welcome pack. We need to take advantage of that. If once they get their welcome pack and they start taking their products, it's old news whether we're going to get them to do anything. So while we're on the phone, we set up an appointment with the upline ambassador to get them on an appointment on a phone call or a Zoom. Yes, that means me. Can I do the Zooms for everybody on this team? No. But we need to do this. We need to start implementing it. And the next thing we need to do before we get off the phone with them, signing them up, we need to say, Gina, I have a 2-liner that I would love to just pass along to you right now on a text. Would you want to post this on your timeline? And here it is. It's basically this. Hey, you guys, I have just stumbled across this incredible health system, a system of products that's helped my friend Suzanne have better sleep, no food addiction, and free from sleep aids. Who wants to do this with me? 2 sentences. Would you like to post that on? Would you be brave enough and bold enough to just ask people to join you? And when we tell them to do that, we've got to be bold and have them post on their timeline immediately, the same day they sign up, the moment they sign up. You send them that text, they post it on their team page, on their timeline, and then as a result, when people start saying, what's this, who's that, what's this, what products, what is this, I want more information, your friend Gina that just signed up doesn't have to give the information. Guess what she does? Throws this person in a 3-way chat with you, the upline. And you start talking to them, tell them your story, ask them questions. What's drawing you to this? What do you think? What would you like to have Plexus do for you? This is what it's done for me. This is what it did for my friend XYZ. This is what it did for my friend over here. What do you think excites you about this the most? People will start getting excited. And now guess what? Gina's going to have a paycheck because we're going to sign up 3 of her friends. And we're going to get her products paid for. And Gina's going to have a check in her hand. And when her welcome pack comes, she can already be a silver ambassador before her products even come. I am so not kidding. Okay. This is how you do it. This is how we grow the team. This is how we duplicate. Instead of signing somebody up, waiting around for them to have a testimony, waiting around for them to be comfortable to share, waiting around for them to say, okay, I think I might want to do this as a business. No, we need to take while they're excited in the beginning and get them going immediately, get a paycheck in their hand. When their carburetor, when their transmission, whatever, fails on their car and they're getting a $200 check from Plexus, do you think that they are going to stop taking their products when they get paid by Plexus? No, because their products are paid for. They're not going to stop their Plexus. We've got to start getting paychecks in hands. I really wanted to talk about this so much tonight that I have talked about this for 30 minutes now, and I have put off the law of design. I am going to get through it. I'm going to try to go quickly. Systems are important. That's why I hit on this tonight. I want you to know I've done what it is I'm telling you about. It's not like I'm talking about something I don't know. I can tell you right now, I did this with Amber Neal and the new people on her team. Did you know I got Amber to silver within 2 or 3 days? She got her husband to silver, and one of the girls that we signed up in the first day or so is silver on her team. Okay, that happened in a 2-week time frame, guys. 3 silvers, bam, 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 okay? And Amber is now halfway to gold. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. You have to be bold. You have to be excited. You have to be really, really having a posture that says, look, this is so simple. You don't have to know anything. I know everything. You don't have to know anything. Just post this on your timeline. When somebody starts asking questions, who is this? Throw them in a 3-way chat with me. I'll answer their questions. We'll get on a Zoom. We'll get them signed up. I swear this is how we do it. This is how we do it. That's a system that we need to start implementing. How do we sign people up? On the phone. What do? We make sure the back order's on. We make sure that they're vetted. We make sure they're committed for 90 days to 6 months. We make sure that they're going to spend 100 PV every month, or else we don't sign them up. We put them onto a preferred customer if that's the case. Okay, let them know they can have their 60-day money-back guarantee. Now, once we vet them and we're signing them up and they're ready to go as an ambassador, we let them know that look, all you have to do is ask some people to join you. You don't have to have a testimony. Nobody has to have a testimony. I started the business, I had no testimony. And I started sponsoring immediately. I didn't have a testimony, I had no paycheck. I just had a friends list, and I was calling people and talking to people. It's your excitement and your passion that gets people a paycheck in their hand. And that's what we want. We want people to get a paycheck and they will not leave. Okay, they will not leave. And when they're getting paid and they're going through detox at the same time, they will go through detox and they will push through it. That's what they will do because they got a paycheck. Okay, the law of design. That's what I wanted to talk about tonight. All right? I think we're good. The law of design, to maximize growth, you have to have strategies. Some of the ones I just described, some of the ones I just talked about. If you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into somebody else's plan. And guess what? They have planned for you. Guess what? Not much. They don't have much plan for you. So you must look back in order to plan ahead. You've got to look back in order to start planning ahead. Glancing backward to plan forward. What does John Maxwell do? Okay, something that I have never done. I will tell you this, when I read this chapter, I remember writing out into the margins on all of his practices, you must be kidding me. Wow. In my wildest dreams, I never would have imagined I could do this. I mean, seriously, somebody does this stuff. The guy is incredible. He is so personally developed that I'm blown away. So every year, he reviews every appointment, every meeting, commitment, and activity, hour by hour from the previous 359 days. He evaluates all of them to see what he could have done better, what he could have cut out, right? He tries to account for every waking hour that he had the previous year. It helps him to develop strategies for the coming year because he does this every year. He has been doing it for decades. He's become a lot more focused, strategic, and effective. Makes me realize I got a long way to go. There's no substitute for being strategic. To maximize your growth, you must develop strategies. That is the law of design. Develop strategies. Strategies. I just talk about a strategy to make sure we get people that are committed to the business. I just talked about a strategy for signing them up. I just talked about a strategy for making sure that we have longevity and not fence people that are going to kick the tires and get out after a month, right? Those are strategies for getting paychecks in hands, right? So what are some 4 lessons about strategic growth? 4 lessons about strategic growth. You've got to be proactive and strategic. You can't just float along in life and let whatever happens to you. You have to be strategic and proactive. Number 1, life is very simple, but people just keep making it difficult. Right? Life is very simple, but life has a way of becoming difficult somehow. It's easy to make it difficult. Life can be complicated. It's only through great effort that we can keep it simple. We must constantly work to keep things simple. So all of these grand schemes of we're going to have a power hour, not that that's wrong. We're going to have a 101 group. We're going to have a pajama party. We're going to have a challenge week. We're going to have a 30-day bulge thing, block the bulge. We're going to have all these things, these new deals. And what we really need to be doing is sign up, post on Facebook, 3-way chats, sign up, get a paycheck in hand. Talk on the phone, get them signed up. Post on Facebook, 3-way chats, get on a Zoom, sign them up, do it again. Again. That's what we need to be doing. That's the simplest thing I can even think about. Talk about simple, that's simple. But what it takes is boldness. It takes belief in the process. It takes belief in yourself. It takes boldness. You have to have posture to do that. But simplicity is what we need. And that's why I suggested these things tonight. The secret is found in simplicity. The secret is found in simplicity. 3 questions that John asks for developing leaders globally. Can it be reviewed? Get this. Oh my gosh. Can it be received personally? Can people actually receive this? Can it be understood? All right. Can it be repeated easily? In other words, Randy Gage, I've heard Randy Gage at Mastermind and several other people. Can an 8-year-old do it? Can an 8-year-old do it? Did you know they actually showed us a video at Mastermind of 8-year-olds going through showing the plan and signing people up? 8-year-olds can do simple things. And if we can allow an 8-year-old to do what we're doing, then guess what? It's simple enough. We need to keep it simple. And the third thing, can it be transferred strategically? Can people transfer this and duplicate it? Okay, so these systems help me, says John Maxwell, to fight the battle against complexity in my everyday life. I believe that they can help you too. Just remember, as you develop strategies for growth, keep them personal, repeatable, transferable. I like the word duplicatable, right? That's duplicatable, basically transferable. Repeatable, same thing, I guess. A beautifully conceived strategy does you no good if you cannot use it. So if you got this grand scheme and it's so complex and it sounds so awesome, nobody's going to duplicate it. So what's it worth? Number 2, designing your life is more important than designing your career. You got to design your life before you design some sort of a career. Your career is not going to take you anywhere. Your life is what's going to give you your career. So Reese Witherspoon says, many people worry too much about managing their careers, but rarely spend spending half that energy managing their lives. I want to make my life, not just my job, but the best it can be. The rest will work itself out. John says she's partially correct. If you plan your life well, then your career will work itself out. But the problem is that most people don't spend much time planning their careers either. People don't spend time planning anything. We just don't. I never did. I just went and did my work and tried to do better every single day. Tried to do the best I could in every way possible. So planning your life is about finding yourself, knowing who you are, and then customizing and designing your own growth. Once you draw out the blueprint for your life, then you can apply it to your own career. Number 3, life is not a dress rehearsal. There is no practice over and over. You got one chance. There's no warm-up in life, no dress rehearsal. Yet that's the way that many people seem to be treating their lives. Each of us goes on a stage cold with no preparation, and we have to figure it out as we're going along. That can be messy. We fail. We make mistakes, but we still need to give it our best from the very start. There is no dress rehearsal. Regret over not being proactive enough is a common theme among people looking back on their lives. Not being proactive enough, not taking action. Okay. A man named Dr. Bell asked some people what they would do differently if they could live their lives over again. These are people that are at the end of their lives, right? Their response, an answer that ranked far ahead of any others, was this: I should have taken charge of my life and set my goals earlier. Life is not practice, it's the real thing. So the rest of the survey that was done with these scouts, it looks like it's done with some scouts. Okay, I'm sorry, I wanted to skip down. Number 2 was I would have taken better care of my health. Number 3, I would have managed my money better. And number 4, I would have spent more time with my family. Number 5, I would have spent more time on my personal development. Number 6, I would have had more fun. Number 7, I would have planned my career better. And number 8, I would have given more back. So organize your life, strategize your life. Your career will work itself out. We've got to strategize our life and come up with systems for that. Okay, number 4. In planning your life, multiply everything by 2. So if you think something's going to take you an hour, you better give it 2 hours just to be safe. And that goes for me because I always think I need an hour to do something, and then I'm late because I always have more to do than I think I do. And because I'm such a doer and I'm such a perfectionist and I want to knock off everything on my list, I cover all the bases. Like tonight, I was late a little bit. Because I'm like, I've got to clean up the kitchen. I've got to get this put away. I've got to do this. And I was rushing around. And I was late a little bit. So that's my problem. And okay, so his idea is multiply everything by 2. If he thinks that a goal will require $1,000 to fund it, then you set aside $2,000. So basically multiply it, double it by 2. 2 is not a magic number. It just seems to work. John says that he's found multiplying everything by 2 infuses realism into his optimism. Puts a little realism into your optimism. Okay? Give 3 times the effort and energy to growing yourself and allow yourself to grow slowly, with deep roots. Remember that a squash vine or tomato plant grows in a matter of weeks, produces for several days or weeks, and then dies when the first frost comes. In comparison, a tree grows slowly over years and decades, or even centuries. It produces fruit for decades. And if healthy, it stands up to frost, storms, and drought. So be a tree. Plant yourself deeply. Grow strong roots. Grow strategically. Do not expect it to happen overnight. 3 times the amount of energy necessary. Do it 3 times the amount of energy to grow yourself. That's what you need to be focusing on personal growth. And the biggest thing, and I think I did a video on this at Mastermind, your personal growth equals your paycheck. How much you focus on this, what's going on in here, what you believe you can do, who you believe you are, how much you're well developed inside, your posture, your confidence, your self-esteem, that's your paycheck. If you're lacking, you need to be doing that number 1. That's your number 1 goal. That's got to be first on your list every single day. Preaching to self. Okay? Depend on systems if you're going to develop strategies. To develop your strategies, you've got to have systems to do it. Now, this is a lot of information. I don't want to go off into massive detail. Polythene, how do I do that? One of the greatest secrets to John's personal growth and high productivity is the systems that he uses for everything. He's got a system for growing personally and gleaning information. It's on page 107. You can read it. He gives a CD 5 minutes. If it's bad, stop listening. If it's good, listen to the whole thing. If it was great, stop listening 5 minutes and set the CD aside to have it transcribed. Hello. Talk about a system. He's got a system for capturing and following all the good stories, quotes, and articles that he reads. When he reads a book, finds a quote, a story that he likes, he marks the page, writes the topic that he wants it filed under, writes the page number where it can be found on an inside front of the cover of the book. When he's done reading the book, gives it to his assistant, has the photocopies made, quotes, and types them up and puts them in a quote file. Huh. Talk about personal growth, man. Okay, this practice has changed his life. Most people know, he says, who take the time to grow personally don't take the time to capture the best thoughts and ideas they come across. Do you ever catch yourself, you're in the middle of cooking dinner, you're in the middle of driving somewhere, you can't stop and write something down. You have this epiphany, you have this idea, and just 15 minutes later, most of it escapes you. We don't have a way to capture our greatest thoughts. Do you know that we are probably way more ingenious than we give ourselves credit for? It's just that we don't have a system to capture our thoughts. It happens to me all the time. A lot of the times my greatest ideas are in the middle of the night. I have learned to keep a pen and paper next to my bed. I do. Now, I haven't used it yet, but I've put it there. But I have realized that I have some really great ideas in the middle of the night sometimes. I wake up, I think about something. He's got a system for thinking. About a dozen quotes or ideas in his notes app of his iPhone, which he takes with him everywhere. Refers to them throughout the day so that he can really sink into his mind and heart. When he goes swimming, he takes a couple of those thoughts and he rolls them over in his mind. And maybe a couple of them are prayers, and he will pray over that while he's swimming. So he controls his thoughts. He utilizes his time, and he manages his time and his thoughts. Huge. That's amazing. A system for writing. Before he takes a major trip, lasts up to 2 or 3 weeks, spends a day longer preparing what he needs to write. If he's writing a book, he creates a notebook with raw material. Man. He says, I do this, I do that. I have some thoughts in a particular chapter. I 3-hole punch it. I put it behind a tab. I go through and make a quote, articles file into this photocopy thing and put it in this notebook deal. And he'll use it for that chapter. And he basically puts the whole book together in chapters in a 3-ring binder. John Maxwell is the most highly developed, systematically prepared person on the planet. Wow. That's what I wrote in the side margin. He says, I have a system for planning my days. He looks at his calendar 6 weeks out so that he knows what's coming. He can plan his work every morning and reviews the schedule for that day. Asks himself, what's the main event? Number 2, the next thing he says, it has a system for waiting in line. Do you have a system for waiting in line? What do you do when you're waiting in line? Look at the magazines on the rack? Scroll through Facebook on your phone? Okay, what does he do? He's at a ball game. He's waiting in line with his friends. Go to concession stand with the food. If there's 3 lines, get this, I stand in one, ask my friends to stand in the other 2. When one of us gets to the counter first, then we all go over to that person and place our orders together. Now, I think some people in that line would think that you're cutting in line. Okay. So what's a system? It's a process for predictability, achieving a goal based on specific, orderly, repeatable principles and practices. Systems leverage your time, they leverage your money, and they leverage your abilities, and they make you effective. We just talked about systems for this team. They'll make us effective, they'll make us duplicatable, and they'll make us really, really grow exponentially, and our growth will stay. It will maintain itself for the long haul. Systems are deliberate, intentional, and practical. They really work regardless of your profession, talent level, or experience. They improve your performance. A life without any systems is a life where a person must face every task and challenge from scratch. That's hard to do when you got to start at bottom basement every time you start a challenge. Why not already have some systems in place? Guidelines for creating personal systems. You got to have your own personal systems. These are things that work for you. Number one, effective systems take the big picture into account. You're busy, but are you efficient? You're going to be truly effective only when you begin with the end in mind, according to Stephen Covey. We did that with our AP, advanced placement courses. You start an advanced placement college course in high school with the end in mind. You begin with the end in mind. At the end, they're going to have to pass the college course with a massive exam. So you better cover all the skills that are required that year to learn so they can be proficient on that exam. You begin with the end in mind. People who excel regardless of their profession develop systems. Muhammad Ali prepped for the Rumble in the Jungle fight with George Foreman. He figured out a system. Get this. He called it rope-a-dope. He allowed him to overcome the stronger boxer. So he basically let the guy pummel him over and over and over in the gut till he was tired. And then he went, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. And the guy out, right? So he developed a system called rope-a-dope. It's not enough to be busy. You can't just be busy. You got to have a system. Unhappiness is knowing what we want and killing ourselves to get it. We don't need to kill ourselves to get what we want. We just need to get structured, organized, and become efficient with the system. Preaching to self, preaching to self. I'm a work in progress. I told you I'm working on my card system. Number two, effective systems make use of priorities. Effective systems make use of priorities. Brian Tracy says, perhaps the very best question that you can memorize and repeat over and over is, what is the most valuable use of my time right now? Your answer to that question should shape any system that you create for yourself. You should also ask yourself, when is the most valuable time? Okay, sometimes I sit down to work and I have 2 or 3 hours and that's it. Okay, and I'm like, my mind is going here. I've got this, I've got that, all these things pulling me, emails to answer, bounce checks. I've got to get my taxes updated. I've got to post on Facebook. I've got to do this. I've got to reach out and follow up. Okay, what is the most important thing I need to do right now? In other words, what's the biggest fire that's right around me that needs to be put out? The biggest fire right now needs to be put out, and that's the one I'm going to do first, okay? 9 times out of 10, that needs to be your personal business. Get your personal business taken care of so that you can do everything else, right? Okay, so he says, make use of your priorities. Find out what's the best thing you need to be doing right now. What should I be doing right now? He says, for me, it's mornings. When I recognize that, I stopped scheduling my breakfast meetings. Mornings were his most productive time. So he stopped scheduling meetings for breakfast. He just got some work done. Let's keep on going. Number 3, effective systems include measurement. You got to be able to measure stuff. If you can't measure it, how in the world do you know if it's effective? Any kind of progress requires the ability to measure. And for that reason, your systems must include a way to measure your results. You've got to be able to measure your results. Measurement's the first step that leads you to control and eventually to improvement. If you cannot measure something, you cannot understand it. If you can't understand it, you can't control it. If you can't control it, you cannot improve it. So you got to be able to measure it. Measurement's the key to improvement. In fact, measurement itself can even create improvement. I know what measurement is. Measurement is when I sat down with my reports last night and I went through the whole back office and I counted how many people are active on this team. How many people are inactive on this team? How many people have no back order turned on as a brand new ambassador? How many people are ordering products less than 100 PV every single month on a consistent basis? I went in there and I just went over everything. You better be able to measure stuff and you better look at what's going on. Measure what's going on. Whatever system that you have, you better be able to measure. If you can't measure, how would you know in the world where you need to work on? How do you know that it's effective? That's by measuring last night, and kind of made myself stressed out. By measuring, it's like stepping on a scale. It's like taking a tape measure and putting it around yourself and seeing, okay, I've put on some body fat. You got to know where you're at in order to know where you need to go. You better be able to measure what's going on. I'm going to go on. Effective systems include application. That's number 4. No plan is worth the paper it is printed on unless it starts you doing something. William Danforth said that. No plan is worth the paper it's written on until it starts you doing something. You got to do something. So what's a good question to ask yourself? Here's the question. What are you going to do now? What are you going to do now? What are you going to do? It's not just enough to plan. Enough planning is important. It is important. Both planning and action must go together. Action and plan has to go hand in hand. A plan without an action is no plan. It's just sitting there. It's not worth anything. To plan, it creates the track. If you have a plan, then it's going to create the track that you're going to run off. And then the action provides the traction that you're running on the track. So anytime that you have a goal, but you think that you won't be able to reach it, don't just adjust the goal, adjust the action steps. Number 5. Effective systems employ organization. You got to be organized. You got to be organized. If you're not organized, forget it. Organization is one of the keys to success. I used to tell my students that all the time. If you're not organized and you got a backpack with all this junk you just keep shoving down in there, how do you know where your homework is? How do you know where the essay is that you're trying to write right now? How do you know where some assignment is that you were working on last night when you just shoved it in your backpack? You better have some sort of a system for organization. The number one time waster for people is looking for things that are lost. It's the number one time waster. Have a place for everything. Time is a way of getting away from you. We have limited time. It's finite. It's going to get away from you. Time is what life is made of, so we need to value it. And by valuing it, we make some responsible choices to become organized, and we create organizational systems. Everything we do requires time, yet many people take it for granted. How you spend your time is more important than how you spend your money. Boom, chakalaka. Money mistakes can be corrected, but once your time has passed, it's gone forever. Can't get it back. So being organized gives you a sense of power. It's like when you count your calories, you feel out of control. With your food, start counting your calories, and you've got a sense of control again. You're back on track, right? That's what happens with me. If you think that your money is out of control, go find out what's in the bank account and what's on the credit card. Figure out how you're going to make a plan to get that taken care of. Now you've got a plan. You're going to put it into action. You've got control. You have control. So get a plan and get organized. Time is so valuable. We cannot waste it. We've got to be organized. Moving on. Number 6, effective systems promote consistency. Effective systems promote consistency. So now when you have an effective system, you're going to do stuff that you need to do over and over and over and over and over again. That's what I'm lacking, I think. Of course, consistency. There's so many of us have certain parts of us that are consistent in certain areas, but then in other areas, we're not consistent. And we've got to work on consistency in all areas of our lives. That's probably going to be something I'm going to die trying to do. If you want to succeed in the long run, you must learn to be consistent day in and day out, week in, week out, year in and year out. You will never change your life until you change something that you do every single day. The secret to your success is found in your daily routine. So any system that you develop needs to promote consistency, and you must follow it consistently. Think about this. You want to lose 20 pounds of body fat? So you eat right for a day or two. Nothing happens. You don't see any results. So what are you going to do? Just quit? It's what you do over time, every single day for several months. And that's when you'll see that body fat go away. You got to keep doing it over and over and over and over again. Okay, so let's translate that into the business. So we go off in a little spurt and we do this here and we do it there. And they're like, where's our results? Where's the results? I don't have any results. Okay, well, what are we doing every single day? 5 reach outs a day bring leads coming your way. That's Sarah Robbins. She says that all the time. 5 new people a day brings leads coming your way. So rack them and stack them and be consistent. Okay, a golfer's strategy. Harvey Pinnock is he has a little red book called Lessons and Teachings from a Lifetime of Golf. The only thing in life that I want to be is a golf pro. Harvey was running the club as the head pro before he reached the age of 20. He wanted to become the best that he could at teaching golf, and to do that, he was very systematic. His son, Tinsley, says this: my dad always said that the day he stopped learning would be the day that he stopped teaching. He must have been learning right up until the day that he died because he never stopped teaching. The strategy that made Harvey Pinnock the world's famous was his practice of recording observations and practices in a small red Scribble X notebook. He began doing it sometime in his 20s. He wanted to record what worked so he could teach it. And he did that for more than 60 years. And it kept the book locked in his briefcase. He kept it locked away. Okay? And it became one of the best-selling books of all time. His notes on what worked and what didn't work. He took notes about what worked and what didn't work. He was observant. He didn't waste his time. He didn't waste his thoughts. He wrote it down. He captured them. He was systematic. He made a plan. He was proactive. He executed it. He did not let life just come and take him as it would take him. He made a plan and he executed it. So as you seek to develop strategies to maximize your growth, seek out principles that have stood the test of time. Do not try to simply adopt somebody else's practices as your own. Customize them for yourself so that you can make them work for you. Like that index card system. I've watched that video 20 times, I think, on how to make yourself an index card system. And then I thought about that. Well, that wouldn't work for me. I've got to do it this other way. I can't use that because I have this, that, or the other going on over here. So I created little parts of it to make it work for me. And that's what you have to do. That is the power of the law of design. If you go to work on your goals will go to work on you. If you go to work on your plan will go to work on you. Whatever good things we build end up building us. And that is the law of design. So applying the law of design, I'm over on page 119. This is your homework. Take some time to assess which areas in your life receive the most of your strategic planning. Your career, your family, your faith, your health, your hobby, your marriage, your personal growth, or your vacation. Go through that list. Go through that list. We're going to talk about this when we turn off this Zoom right here. You need to discover what areas of this do you spend the most time planning, strategic planning. Have you been strategic in your approach to designing your strategies and systems for life? If not, why not? Why haven't you been specific in doing that? If so, where have you placed the most emphasis? Does your past behavior line up with what you say about your priorities now? How would you like them to be? Number 2, brainstorm a list of areas where you desire to improve, that you're experiencing a problem or sensing an opportunity. Try to create a system to help you for each one. I just talked about them. An index card system for my own personal business, for my follow-up and reach out. So it'll hold me accountable, and I'm always grabbing the cards that I need for every single day, and I'm just going to do those every single day. Okay? Number 2, a system for signing people up and recruiting and getting them involved, getting them engaged, getting them to duplicate, getting them to stay, getting them a paycheck in their hand. Lots of reasons for having systems. Characteristics of a good system. The big picture. Will the system help you to reach your big picture goals? Your priorities. Is the system consistent with your values and commitments? Measurement. Can you measure in a tangible way to judge if you're succeeding or not? Application. Does the system have a built-in bias towards action? Are you going to act on these things? Organization. Does the system make better use of your time than what you're doing now? And consistency. Does it help you to repeat this thing on a daily basis. And finally, the last thing, number 3, any system that you develop should be simple and straightforward. Explain your systems to a friend to see if they pass 2 tests. The first test is whether you can explain it clearly. Can you explain your system clearly? And the second is to see if your friend knows of a better or simpler way of achieving the same goal. Thank you for joining us. We're going to tune off right now and we're going to have a team discussion. It's my pleasure to train you every week, and signing off, good night.